Hey guys, welcome back again to our Hawaii series. This video today is just the continuation of our previous video whereby we were talking about virtual LAN. So today we are going to look deeper into the configuration of inter-VLAN. We are going to see the configuration of inter-VLAN. So as you can see, this is the topology that we are going to use for this lab. So we are having VLAN 10, VLAN 20 and VLAN 30. So inter-VLAN communication allow user in different VLANs to communicate with each other. So this VLAN, they must communicate with each other. So let's just try begin by configuring our VLAN. You can just check our previous video for the configuration of VLAN. So let's start. Sys view, sys name, the name of my switch 1. It's okay. Let's just create our VLAN. It's a VLAN, then ID VLAN 10, description IT, the name of my VLAN. Let's just create our second VLAN, VLAN 20, description HR. It's okay. Let's create our last VLAN, VLAN 30, description marketing department. It's okay. Now let's just check our VLANs that we have created. Display VLAN. Now you can see now we have created these three VLANs with their description here. So now let's give our VLAN access ports. So now let's give our VLAN access ports. Let's check the interfaces. 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's fine. Just confirmation of the interfaces. Interface gig Ethernet 0/0/2 port link type, it's access port default VLAN 10. So what we've done here is just giving our VLAN 10 access port. Let's come to our second VLAN. Okay, port link type, it's access port default VLAN 20. It's okay. Now let's give our last VLAN access port. Port link type, it's access port default VLAN 30. So now let's just check display VLAN. Now you can see that our VLAN has been assigned access ports. So we have done. So now let's do what can we do now is to configure this interface as our trunk. We have to configure this interface as our trunk. So let's do is gig Ethernet 0/1. Let's configure this interface as our trunk port. Interface gig Ethernet 0/0/1 port link type trunk port trunk allow VLAN. Let's just make a question mark to see port trunk allow VLAN. Okay, now what I was trying to clarify is this one here, meaning here we are having an option whereby we can write the integer, meaning a VLAN ID, or you can just say all for that. So let's just say all. It's okay. So we can just quit and then try to confirm that display display, this is command display port VLAN gig Ethernet 0/0/1. You can see now this port has been assigned to carry from VLAN 1 to 4,000. So so basically, guys, we have done it. So now what we have to do now, let's give our PC IP addresses. It's 192.168.10.2, subnet mask 255.255.255.0. So now we have to give our router our gateway, which is to be the address of the router. This is where we can just talk about the concept of sub interfaces. 192.168.10.1. let's apply. Okay, let's come to our second PC. 192.168.20.255.255.255. The gateway 192.168.20.1. It's okay. Let's just come to our last PC. 192.168.30.2 255.255.255. The address of gateway 168.30.1. Fine. So now let's see here. We are having the sub interfaces. So the VLAN communication configuration involve the configuration of the sub interfaces. So the gateway are the sub interfaces under the physical interface. So for each interface or each sub interfaces will be assigned the IP address. So these are just the sub interface under the physical interfaces, and each one of them must be given an IP address. So let's just do that. Come to our router here, sysview, sysname, the name of my router, R1. Okay, let's check this interface first. It's gig Ethernet 0/0 is okay. So it's interface gig Ethernet 0/0/0. Fine. So now let's come to sub interface. The first sub interface is interface gig Ethernet 0/0/0.1. It's okay. Now let's give it IP address 192.168.10.1 followed by subnet mask. It's okay. So now we have to specify .1q termination VLAN VID 10. So let me explain this. When you talk about .1q termination, this is this .12 termination subinterface applies to the scenario whereby layer 3 Ethernet connects to multiple VLAN. This .1q termination subinterface applies to a scenario whereby layer 3 Ethernet connects to multiple VLANs. I think that's clear, because when you're talking about VLAN routing with layer 2 switch, it is done with the help of the router. So now let's just enable our ARP broadcast enable. Let me just explain this. So here ARP broadcast, by default it is disabled. So if it is remain disabled, the router will discuss the packets. So by enabling this on the sub interface of the router is to enable the broadcast to be tagged. So by default, this is it is disabled. So if it is remaining disabled, it will discuss the packet. So we don't want to do that. So now let's come, then it's done. Let's come to our second interface. Gig Ethernet 0/0/0. It's okay. Our second sub interface Gig Ethernet 0/0/0.2. Then IP address 192.168.20.255.255.255.0. It's okay. So .1q termination .1q termination VLAN VID 20. Therefore we have to enable ARP address resolution protocol, ARP broadcast enable, such that our router can able to send packets from the sub interfaces. It's okay. Let's just do the same thing with our last sub interface Gig Ethernet 0/0/0 interface Gig Ethernet 0/0/0.3. This is our last sub interfaces. IP address 192.168.30.124. okay. .1q termination VID 30. okay. Then address resolution protocol broadcast enable. That's fine. So now let's just check if this the VLANs can communicate with each other. Ping 192.168.20.2 timeout. Okay, now you can see that this VLAN can be able to communicate with VLAN 10 can be able to communicate with VLAN 20. Let's check if VLAN 10 can communicate with VLAN 30.2 timeout. Definitely they can communicate. Now you can see let's just try to see if VLAN 30 can communicate with VLAN 10. VLAN 30 can communicate with, does it reach VLAN 10? Ping 192.168.10.2. definitely they can communicate. Thank you very much, guys. Subscribe to my channel and push and have